Hi guys, hope you're all well. We're going to be continuing with the videos over the next few weeks for those of you that continue to stay at home. We're going to try and make them a bit more like a lesson that you would have at school. So we're going to start off with some warm-up stuff, and I'm going to be sending you through a sheet of stretches that you could do as well before we started, and then we're moving on to our skills-based stuff each week. Okay, to start with Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, we're going to be doing very similar warm-ups. Key Stage 2, I just want you to try and push it a bit more, try and do it a little bit quicker, and try and do it the best you can. Maybe do it for a little bit longer as well. But we're going to start off with the warm-ups. So to begin with, all you need are some cones or something to put down, just a little bit of space to do your exercise in. Okay, let's get started. Okay, to start with, we're going to do some little warm-ups. We're going to do 3 different ones. We're going to be looking at agility, the way we move, and we're going to be looking at some speed and some changes of direction with our warm-ups. The first one's going to be nice and simple. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start off by facing away from your cones, so like I am now. You're going to run backwards until you get to the first cone, and then forwards back to this one. Run backwards till you get to the second cone, and then forwards back to this one. Backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. Okay, there's 2 different ways of doing this. You can put yourself a little timer on for a couple of minutes and just keep doing it and see how many times you can do it. Or you can set up your cones, do it once all the way through and see how fast you can do it, and then see if you can beat yours next time. Start off relatively slow, because obviously this is a bit of a warm-up, but you can pick the pace up the further you get through this. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like, and then you can decide how you want to do it. So I'm going to go backwards, then I'm going to go forwards, and I'm going to go backwards, and then forwards again, backwards, forwards again, and to the last one, and forwards. So I could stop my timer there and see how fast I did it, or I could continue for my 2 or 3 minutes and see how many times I can get up and down. Have a go. Okay, for our next one, what we're going to do is we're going to do some sideways movements. And every time we get back to the start, we're going to change the way that we're facing. So we're going to start maybe facing this way, moving along, and then when we get back to the start, we're going to turn and face the other way. Okay, again, same as last one, you can either do it as quick as you can, or you can just set your time for 2-3 minutes and see how many times you can get up or down. Okay, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So I'm just going to go to the first cone this way. When I get here, I'm going to come back. And then when I get here, I'm going to turn. Okay, so I'm facing the other way. Up to the next one, and back. And then when I get here, I'm going to turn again. Okay, a bit faster now. Get here and turn. And back. And turn. And so on. Okay, so every time you get back to the start, you turn your direction. So think about moving quickly, turning quickly, and changing direction as much as possible. Have a go. Okay, for our last one, I've set up our cones slightly differently. So I've just put 2 at the ends, 1 over there and 1 over there. So I've made it like a capital T at the end. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to go up and down to our cones again, just like we've been doing, going forwards this time. This time when you get to the end, you're going to go to each side of the T as quickly as you can before you sprint back down to the end. This one is a timed one to see how fast you can do it. I want to see you, if you can, touch each cone with your hand. Okay, so we're doing it the same every single time. So touch each cone with our hand at the end. You're going to go and you're going to touch both of the cones on each side, so you can start whichever side you want, and then sprint back and see how quickly you can do it. Okay, I'll show you how it works now. So you're going to go down, touch, and back, touch, and back, touch, and back. So I'm going to go to the end now. I'm going to go touch, 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 back, and stop as quickly as I can. Okay, stop my time, see how quickly I do it, then see if I can beat it a little bit as well. Okay, have a go at that one. Okay guys, so your first bit you're going to practice a little bit of passing. Now if you've got a partner to pass to, that's great. If not, you can just try and use the wall the same way we used it for the tennis last week. Have a go, just remembering to put your hands behind the ball. Okay, make sure you're pushing it towards the person. Okay, but this needs to be a nice flat pass, so it should be going straight to the wall and back. Okay, it shouldn't be going really high and then slowly down. Now if you're finding it hard to push it nice and straight, you can try and do a little bit high to begin with, but slowly try and move your way down the wall so you get it as flat as possible. Okay, so I'm going to step back a little bit. If it was my partner, have them stood a little bit away. Obviously I've got a wall here, so I'm going to try and pass it nice and flat. I've got my hands behind the ball, okay, my thumbs together, hands behind the ball, and I'm going to push it nice and flat from my chest, and then catch when it comes back. So push, and catch, push, catch, push, catch, push, catch. Just keep having a go. It's just a little reminder of how we did our passing, because we're going to use possibly some of it a little bit later on with some of the other stuff that we're going to do. If you've got a partner, that's even better, okay, because they can challenge you a little bit and do some passes to the side that you've got to move for. If you're using a wall, try and pass them some to the side to challenge yourself a little bit. So pass them one over here, try and get it to the side as well so you can challenge yourself a little bit. Have a go though, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. Okay guys, now you've had a go at your passing either with a partner or with the wall. We're just going to go back to one of the things that we tried a few weeks ago, which was looking at dribbling. Now remember, dribbling we're using our fingertips, okay, and just pushing it to the ground. So push, 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 push. Shouldn't hear you slapping it, so shouldn't be able to hear any of that. Okay, it's just using our fingertips. Remember, we talked about trying to do it with one hand. I know some of us started with two. Try and do it with one hand if we can, and even if you can swap hands, that's really good as well. Okay, just go and have a go, remind yourself of how to do that, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay, shooting next. Now, last time we did a little bit on shooting. We were concentrating on doing a push shot like this. We're going to have a look at a slightly different way of shooting today. It's a little bit trickier, but have a good go. If you struggle with it, that's fine. Drop back down, have a go at doing it like this again. That's absolutely fine for today. Okay, but I'm going to show you a slightly different way of shooting. Again, if you've not got a hoop, so I've got a hoop behind me, but if you've not got a hoop, we've got the cones, the ring of cones at the side again. You can use that, that's absolutely fine. One thing I wanted to make sure we're doing today when we're shooting is getting some height on it, okay? Trying to get the shot really, really high. Now you're going to have to spend quite a bit of time practicing this, okay? Because this is one of the hardest part of the games. We are going to concentrate on the basketball way of shooting, and we'll move on to netball when we come back to do this another time. So with basketball, we imagine we're a bit like a waiter with a plate. We put the ball on there, okay? Now this hand doesn't really do much, it just steadies the ball, but we certainly don't want to hold it, we're not throwing it two-handed. What we're going to do is when this hand pushes, this hand's just going to stay here, so it's going to push and this hand's not going to do anything, okay? It's just steadying your ball. What you're going to do is I want you to try and make sure that number one, you're trying to shoot like this, okay, so just pushing it when you shoot, and number two is you're getting lots of height on it, so we're not going to push it straight at the target, we're going to try and push it up so it goes into the target, okay, whether that's your hoop on the floor or whether it's your basketball post. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So, hand like a waiter, and have your ball here, this hand just to steady it, this hand's going to stay here, remember, you're just going to push, I managed to get that one in. So you're just going to push this hand up, make sure it goes really high. As you can see, I put my basketball net behind my washing line today, so I can make sure that I'm getting lots and lots of height on it, so it's going really high. Even if you've got a little hoop on the floor, or a ring on the floor, you can still put your washing line there, or whatever it might be, and try and make sure you're pushing it over. Okay, this is going to take some time, but have a go and have a good practice. Okay, for your final activity, what you're going to do is you're going to do some combining of the skills that you've just done. So you're going to do a little bit of dribbling along with the shooting that you've just been practicing. Okay, so I'm just going to go over there in a second. I'm going to dribble up to my shooting spot here. I'm going to get myself ready and I'm going to have my shot. Now, I don't want you to rush a shot. I don't want you to run up to the spot and throw it quickly. I want you to get up to the spot, count to 3 and take your shot. If you're shooting like this, that's fine. If you're shooting like this, that's great as well. Okay, so however you've been shooting today, use that way of shooting. Just remember to get it nice and high when you're taking your shot. Okay, so dribble, then shoot. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to dribble over. So dribble, dribble, dribble. Get my ball. 1, 2, 3. Take my shot. Okay, 2 out of 2, not bad. So then you're going to take your shot, have a few goes. Maybe give yourself 10 goes, see how many you get. Reset yourself, see how many you get next time as well. So have a few goes at this. Remember, it's going to take lots and lots of practice. So don't worry if it goes wrong. Maybe just have a go, see how it goes, and you can always come back and have another go at it tomorrow. Okay, but have a good go. Okay guys, thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure you have a good go at this. There's not as much stuff here as usual, but all of it's going to take a lot of time. So maybe just do the exercise part of it today, maybe tomorrow come back and do the skills part of it, try and break it up across the week. But there's loads and loads and loads for you to practice and have a go at. Okay, so key stage 1, have a good go. look after yourself, and I'll see you all soon.